Welcome to the Healing Incubator podcast. I am your host, Kiana F. Brown, the forgiveness expert, and we are all about the truth, forgiveness, and healing. You are entering a controlled environment where there are others who are reaching to grow in their entrepreneurial journeys, personal lives, and self-care. Are you ready to heal? Hey guys, it's Kiana F. Brown, your forgiveness expert, and thank you. I'm trying to get myself together. The camera's kind of cray. For you guys out there in podcast land, if you're listening to us through Apple Podcasts, because yes, we made it. If you're listening to us through iHeartRadio podcast, we made it. If you're listening to us through Spotify or any of the other amazing platforms such as Anchor, which is our host, then you know that you can see us visually on YouTube. So you want to go over to Forgiveness Nation group and look at us. You can look at us there. But I'm excited that you're back. I'm excited that you're here and that you are ready to start your healing journey. So welcome to the Healing Incubator podcast. I am your host again, Kiana F. Brown, and we have another phenomenal, amazing guest, Mr. Brian Corey. So I'm not going to prolong this any longer. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in, guys, so he can tell us everything about who he is. And we're going to talk about some good stuff today, some truth, some forgiveness, and some healing. All right, guys, here comes Mr. Brian Corey. Hey, how are you?
Hello. I'm doing well. How are you?
Awesome. Like, I have been waiting for this interview. I wanted to get into it. We don't really have a lot of males. So I'm like, yes, we get to hear this perspective from a male. But before we go any further, we want to let our listeners and viewers know exactly who you are. So the floor is yours.
Okay, everyone. My name is Brian Corey. I am the founder of Prominent Positioning, where we help people move from their current position to a position of prominence. I am a current author, and I'm just excited to be on this program on tonight. I'm excited about the conversation we're about to have. So y'all listen in, and hopefully we'll be able to dialogue about some good things on tonight.
Okay, awesome. So before we get into starting this healing journey with our listeners and viewers, I wanted to talk a little bit more about your book and then a little bit more about your business. But let's start and dive into the book first.
All right. So the name of the book is called SCORE, Achieving Goals at Any Age. It's a book that's geared towards anybody that is interested in going or pursuing any of their goals. It takes a strategic approach to goal setting, and not just goal setting, but actually achieving those goals. It provides a formula. It provides a step-by-step things that you need to make sure that you are aware of as you pursue any goal. You want to make sure that you're thoroughly aware of these things that are present in this book, so that you can be successful with achieving your goals. So it's SCORE, Achieving Goals at Any Age.
Awesome. Now, your business, you're helping others, what you said, transition?
Prominent Positioning.
Prominent position. Okay, there we go. I know I heard a shun in there. So, how are you helping people to get from one position to the next?
Right. So we're helping people with goals. We're helping people with goals. We're helping people with communication, as well as leadership. So one of the things that I think is very important with this generation, with millennials, is just working with them on leadership, how to approach their goals so that they can be more successful, as well as communication. Communication is really big. And I think if they can learn those key components of communication, learn how to pursue their goals, and learn how to interact as a leader, that they're going to be set up for success. So that's what we do. Prominent Position. We help people move from their current position to a position of prominence.
I like that. One of the things that you said that really stuck out to me was that you're helping them and teaching them how to interact. And that is really prominent in this time right now, especially because we're in COVID. So
Right.
we can't really interact, like how we want to. But then also we're in the age of technology where, you can literally be sitting in a room with someone. And so I've noticed that about the youth. So how do you actually help them communicate with one another or even, someone else?
Right. So I think communication is key. And I was actually having a conversation with my brother the other day, and we were talking about communication, just how things have changed in this environment because we have technology at our disposal. And so sometimes we feel as though we're more connected, but at the same time we're distant. We're not really connecting on a deep level. But when it comes to communication, we talk about communication as being aware of your verbal communication, your nonverbal communication, being aware that it is your responsibility as a communicator to make sure you deliver the message in a way that the recipient can understand it and that they can grasp it. And if they don't, you can't blame the other person, right? You have to take
Yeah.
on the ownership of being the person that's communicating your message. Also, transparency. We also talk about any type of formal communication, such as presentations, how they can present to an audience. And so there are many facets of communication that we address with them, but the goal is to make sure that they know how to communicate their ideas effectively, know how to speak to an audience, communicate during interviews, all of these skills that are just necessary for them to connect with people. When it comes to informal conversations that they have with their peers and with their friends, we definitely like to focus on just transparency and just being honest and having that vocabulary in which you can communicate your thoughts, your feelings, and really express those in a way that is received by the other person and not necessarily you just expressing yourself. So just knowing how to communicate even when you're dissatisfied with behavior or dissatisfied with the situation. Those are the things that we really enjoy working with them on.
That is so. You just keep giving me these key words that are leading like right now. So that's how I know that this was orchestrated by God. Uh, but you said something about transparency, right, and honesty. And so here in the Healing Incubator podcast, the three modules to having a successful life or having a better life or more fruitful life, more comfortable life is actually getting to your truth, right? And so you're helping people to get to their truth, their honesty. But has there been a situation with any of the children or anyone that you've worked with that once they got to the truth, which you talked about honesty or transparency, have they taken our next step towards forgiveness? And if so, how, if you were able to aid them, how were you able to aid them in that era?
Right. So when it comes to young people and people in general, just expressing their truth, it does come from a place of honesty. And sometimes you ask questions. You don't always you may not always reveal what is apparent because sometimes when you have someone that's working with you, that's coaching you, they can see things that you don't even see, even in the midst of you sharing your message or communicating what it is that you're communicating. And so my job is to ask those probing questions to get them to really reflect on the situation that they just encountered or the thing that they went through. And so it's through those questionings and it's through that reflection that they can really go deep and really self-evaluate. I think that's very important in the time that we're living in, is just being able to self-evaluate where you are, how the things or the situation around you has impacted your emotions, your environment, how you feel, and then being able to move to that next level, like you said, of forgiveness. And sometimes that forgiveness can be forgiving someone else. Sometimes that forgiveness can be forgiving yourself. And I think that's very important to be able to identify, what the situation actually entails or what it requires from the individual. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You are given such phenomenal information. And if there's someone who needs to get into a new position, I hope that you are gleaning from the information that Mr. Brian Corey is sharing with us. If you're just tuning in, we're on the Healing Incubator podcast because, you know, they could be watching us live and they might have just caught it by just clicking on it and say, oh, I want to talk about, I want to listen in and see what they're talking about. But guys, we're going to go to a really, really brief commercial break. Some of you guys know that with Forgiveness Nation, which is the hub of everything that we're doing, the where the Healing Incubator podcast is placed under. Also, Uplift Women's Alliance. We just came out with a short film, and it's called Forgiving the Season. So, guys, check this out and make sure, and I pray that it makes you want to go to YouTube, to the page Forgiveness Nation, and check out this short film. But here is a clip to get you excited about the process of healing and forgiving. Hey, girl.
Hey.
What's up? Why did you have your face blocked for graduation? Why haven't you been calling me back? Why you sound so sad, girl? Why do you look like you're not eating?
Why all the questions? Look, I answered this time. Let's just walk.
Okay, girl. But seriously, what's going on?
I don't understand how you cannot be upset at all this. I mean, you act like you don't even know what's going on around you. People are dying left and right. The school is closed. We didn't even get to go to prom. And then they had a stupid virtual graduation.
Hey guys, we are back. We are back. We hope that you enjoyed that short little teaser about the film. It talks more about that on YouTube, so just go there. There's some more information, and we actually launched it about 2 weeks ago, and we got a great response. So if you have any children that are dealing with this season and they're not taking it well, that's something that they should take a look at. And it also will help you to explain things to them just a little bit easier. Now, Brian, let's get back into this amazing interview. I want to talk about your book a little bit. We're going to go backwards. Your book begins with the following quote by Thomas Manson: "Choose your love." Let me make sure I'm saying this right. Choose your love, love your choice. Why did you begin with that topic, and why is it important for those who are listening today?
Yeah, choose your love, love your choice. When it comes to goals, I think it's very important that we understand that it's, first of all, a choice that we make. And sometimes we can choose goals based upon the environment or the culture or what someone else says, but we really have to make sure we choose a goal that we really want, something that we really want to put our energy and put our efforts into, because that's how we're going to get the most out of the goal. And then we have to love the choice that we just made. So if I'm loving a choice or if I'm loving a goal, then that means that I'm learning about that goal. Like I'm trying to increase my mental capacity. I'm trying to increase my framework around this goal that I'm pursuing so that I can be successful. And it's much like forgiveness, you know, because forgiveness is a choice. It's a choice that you have to make.
Absolutely.
And you have to realize that in making this choice, it's going to yield positive outcomes, and you're going to be in a position where you're going to love yourself at a deeper level than you've ever done before because you chose to forgive. So, you know, choose your love, love your choice. Just the importance of knowing what it is that you want, and then just going after it and realizes that you decided the thing that you actually are pursuing. So.
Wow, I love that. You know, there have been some times that I have made some choices that I was not too keen of. I was not happy that I made those choices, but I had to get to that mindset, to that frame of mind where I realized that I had to get over it and move on from it and forgive myself. But not a lot of people can do that, Brian. Not a lot of people. And so we find that it's hard for people to let go. And so, as you said, it's a choice. Why do you think it's so hard for people to make that choice?
I think sometimes we're not fully have the proper perspective of forgiveness. Sometimes I think sometimes we think that when we forgive, we're letting the other person off the hook. The other person's stronger, we're weaker, and so we have that tendency to not want to forgive. But when we have the right perspective, I think it makes it a little bit easier because we realize that in forgiving, we are actually winning. We are actually freeing ourselves. We're actually stronger, and we're not weaker in the process of forgiving someone that has done us wrong. So it's understanding the perspective that we have around it. And when we have the proper perspective, I think, of forgiveness, I think it helps us with the process.
Yeah, I like that because I have a different look and a perspective on forgiveness, but it had to be illuminated for me in order for me to walk into this space where now I get excited about having to forgive because I think about, like, what is the process going to be like? You know, what is it going to be like on the other side of when I have forgiven? And so, speaking of that, you know, now people have forgiven. What is it that you could tell our listeners or our viewers that they could do to actually further their healing process?
Right. I think community is very important when it comes to forgiving. And after you have walked through, 9 times out of 10, you know, while you're going through this experience, most people have someone that they share the situation with, or someone that they confide in regarding what has taken place in their life. And so I think it's always good to have that other person that can just help you, hold you accountable, a support system that we start to feel some type of way again, that they're the one, they're the one that says, okay, look, you let this go. This is just a moment right now. You decide to let this go, and you are actually moving past this. You're better than this. So let's not try to keep you from relapsing, because relapsing can happen in so many areas of your life.
Okay, Forgiveness Nation. I guess the flag wanted to come up. But can you finish that thought, please?
Yeah, I was saying that how relapse can happen in so many areas of your life. So after you walk through the process of forgiving, it's always good to have somebody to walk through that journey or that process with you, someone that you can continue to talk to, someone that's going to be an encourager, that's going to encourage you, you know, to continue to move forward.
You know, it's so ironic that we're having this conversation about having someone or community to help you in that area, because literally everybody knows Keon F. Brown, a forgiveness expert. But there was a situation that I was speaking to another gentleman who has a media platform where he shares the message of forgiveness in a different way. It's called Panacea Media. And he's doing this great initiative in Baltimore, and he's literally like helping people change their lives. So he approached me with something that he's doing, right? And so I'm like, sure, I'd love to be a part of that. And so as a result, he asked me a question. And when he asked me the question, I immediately gave a superficial response, meaning not that it was fake, but surface level. And so he came back again with either two options of what I could do in being a part of this project. And so as a result of that, I listened to the second piece. And when I listen to that, I'm not trying to give it all out because I'm going to actually do this and I want people to, you know, take notice then. But when he gave me the second option, it really made me think about something, you know, this person. And I realized that I had masked my emotions. I had masked my feelings. I put myself in a position to where I was not allowing it to hurt me, out of sight, out of mind. But as we were talking about it, I remembered, that I felt a little anxiety every time I saw a Facebook post, an Instagram post. Now, this is recent, guys. And so that's why I call myself the expert, and why my mission is to help make other experts, because all an expert is a person that does something over and over and over again and is good at it, right? So
Right.
I'm good at getting to getting to the part of letting go and healing. But sometimes in this walk in life, with everything that's going on, we don't necessarily take the time to actually, as you say, do like a self check-in, and make sure that you're okay. And so I kind of just moved on and kind of pushed it to the side. But as a person, a counterpart in this effort to share forgiveness with the world, this person came to me and talked to me in my community and allowed for me to see what I had been covering up. Now, had I not had that conversation with him, it would have not been eliminated. Had I not had that conversation with him, I would have continued to probably cover it up. I'm just, keep it 100, because that's where I was in that relationship. But, as a result of it, I can't be who I am and, not put the truth out there. And that's one of the things that I want everyone else to do, is continue to walk in your truth in everything that you do, no matter what it is, right? No matter if they see you or not, right? Because you live with yourself. And a lot of the times we lie to ourselves about situations and circumstances that we may be in. And guys, honestly, I lied to myself, but through the process, through the community of forgiveness, I was able to have a conversation that enlightened what I was doing, And so I'm just excited about that. And that just made what you said like so real. So guys, if you don't think that, going through the forgiving stage and trying to continue to heal your community is going to help, Brian just gave it to you. And I gave you an example of what happened to me. So this has been a great interview, and like, guys, we're almost out of time, but we have our oxygen mask. I didn't tell you that this was going to happen, so
Okay.
I want you to be ready on your feet. I want to hear what you have to say. Now,
Okay.
what is the oxygen mask? Well, it's, words can breathe like fresh air. When we inhale motivation, it acts as oxygen, informing our brains to do a reset our mindset. So Brian, please share a minute of motivation that will inspire our listeners and viewers' lives and help transform from where they are to where they want to be.
Forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the things that you need to make sure that you do on a constant, sometimes on a daily basis. Forgiveness is not just about the other person, but it's about you. It's not about the other person and how much they fare, how much they may seem to win in the situation, but it's really about you. And when it comes to forgiveness, the benefit of forgiving is that you free yourself. You free yourself to go after purpose. You free yourself to go after those things that has been planted inside of you by God, those desires that you have. Because a lot of times when you walk in unforgiveness, you are so weighted down. You are constantly thinking about the other person. You're constantly thinking about what they did to you, that you don't have the freedom to pursue purpose. And so I want to encourage you to let go of forgiveness, letting go of unforgiveness. Just letting go of unforgiveness can shift you from a current position to a position of prominence. And when we learn to let go and we just forgive people, we will find ourselves walking closer and closer towards our purpose. We will find out that every day is a new day of opportunity. It's a new day for us to pursue our goals. It's a new day for us to chase our dreams. And eventually we'll be able to catch them, all because we decided that we were going to forgive. And when we talk about forgiving others, I also like to say to forgive yourself, because there's been times in which I have done things and I've been involved in certain situations that I had to forgive myself so that I can free myself to be who I was or who God made me to be, my authentic self. So walk in forgiveness, understand the benefits of forgiveness so that you can move from your current position to a position of prominence.
Yes, I love it. Thank you, Brian, so much. That word you used, authenticity, that just stood out to me because, when you walk in a space of originality, your authenticity shines, and that is what connects you to people. So when you're able to be real and be yourself, that will connect you to those who will help you grow, that community and things like that. So thank you for sharing that awesome word. Now, how do people contact you? How do they get a connection with you? How do they get your book? You have a website? Like, I know they want to reach out to you. So please share that information with our viewers and listeners.
Most definitely. You can go to my website, www.bcorey.com, bcorey.com. And when you go to that website, you can find some information about me, but there also will be a link that says buy now. You can click on that link and it'll take you over to Amazon, and you'll be able to purchase the book. You can purchase it in ebook as well as paperback. And you can also follow me on IG, Brian Corey Speaks, as well as Facebook, Brian Corey, LinkedIn, Brian Corey. Just looking forward to connecting with you all. So definitely make sure you send me a DM. I would love to just connect with people and just talk with people, and just to help them move from their current position to where it is that they desire to be.
Awesome. So I know there are a lot of people, especially listeners of the Healing Incubator podcast, because that's what we're about. We're about growth. And when you're growing, you're getting from one stage or one position to the next. And so, guys, you want to make sure that you can get to that position with Brian. So, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in to another amazing show. I don't want you to forget that next week we'll be back with a dose of oxygen, right? On the show, we have the oxygen mask, and every other week when there's not a show, I'm coming through giving you a dose of oxygen to help you get towards the next show and continue your journey of healing. So, guys, we are blessed. We are truly blessed. If you're listening to this, you are truly blessed to still be here. And so don't give up on whatever it is that you're doing. You must continue to live it, do it, and be it. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Healing Incubator podcast. If you are looking at us, thank you for watching us. If you're listening to us, I'm hoping and praying that we have blessed your ears today. Well, guys, we'll see you for another round. See you guys later.